Vanakkam Chennai. We have presented to you the constituencies in Chennai and the surrounding districts. Today we welcome you to join this special edition where we will break down steps to vote like a pro. I am Ramya Kannan and in the studio today with me is Dennis. Hi Dennis.
Hi Ramya.
You know, the election is nearly upon us and 23rd is the voting day.
Yes.
But there are a number of first time voters and there are a number of people who may not be voting, who have not voted and are voting for the first time. So let's break it down for our audience. What do you do if you go to a poll booth? Before that, let's look at what documents are necessary if you have to go and vote.
Yeah. So the Election Commission has mentioned about 12 documents, like say Aadhaar card, your PAN card, your bank account passbook with a photograph, that is, and then you have your driving license. So there are options from which you can actually choose from.
Right.
The ideal thing to do is to take your EPIC card, electoral voter identity card, and your Aadhaar card before you go there.
Right. And so what if, I don't know if I am on the voter rolls, particularly after SIR? How do I check it?
Yeah. So obviously you would know your EPIC number. So you could just type an SMS to 1950. You just type ECI space and then you type your EPIC number. Once you send this SMS, you will get a reply with the part number, serial number, and the polling booth in which you will be going there and voting. So these details will be sent to your mobile phone. Alternatively, you could also use another option, that is, you could download ECI NET, ECI Net mobile phone application, and you could feed in this information, and then you can get these details in your phone as well.
Right.
And apart from these two, officials are also distributing booth slips. They call it voter information slips, and that slip will have all the details about your part number, serial number, the assembly constituency in which you'll be voting, the details of your polling booth as well.
Right, right. So if I do not know my EPIC number this election, will that be a barrier for me to vote?
Well, knowing is always ideal, but if you don't know, it's better to just go and check, call up the BLO, that is booth level officer,
right,
and maybe you would know by now that you are in a certain constituency, assembly constituency. Right. So you could call up the booth level officer, and he or she may be able to help you locate your EPIC number.
Right. Yeah. So Dennis, you've been mentioning this ECI app. The facility that is now available for the voters. And apparently there is a know your candidate provision as well. So before one goes to vote, one can even do a quick check of who the candidates in your constituency are, yes, isn't it?
Yeah, so the ECI has launched an app, that is ECI Net app, and that has a provision called KYC, that is know your candidate. And if you enter the provision, you will get to know the details, all the details of the candidate in your constituency. That is their name, their photograph, their assets, the details of their assets, which they have submitted in the affidavits, and the criminal antecedents if they have any. And all these details are uploaded in that particular constituency. So by just entering this option, you will be able to see all these details of all the candidates in one place. So that will really help you analyze the pros and cons of all these candidates and make up your mind before you go and vote.
Right, yeah. So I hope you've made a note of that because that is a very useful provision and it's new this election, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Dennis, as we were discussing earlier, let's walk us through how one goes to vote, who are the people that you will meet there, and what is the actual process of casting your ballot?
Yeah. So once you are, the previous night, obviously, you could analyze all the details of these candidates, you make up your mind. You also just make sure that you have your EPIC card and your Aadhaar card in place so that you don't have to look around for that in the next morning.
Right.
The first person who you'll be meeting there inside the polling booth is polling officer 1. So he or she, once you enter, will check your name if your name is there in the electoral roll, and then he will read your name aloud so that the agents of the political parties will be seated in the polling booth. They will also verify your name, whether your name is there in the electoral booth. And then you move on to the next person, that is the polling officer 2. The polling officer 2 will apply the indelible ink on your left finger, index finger, and then he will also take your signature in register 17A that you have come here for voting.
Right.
So he will also hand you a slip that will contain the serial number in 17A register as well as the serial number in the polling booth.
Right.
Then you move on to the third person, that is the polling officer 3. So he will collect that slip from you, and then he will also check whether the ink is applied on your left finger, index finger. And then he'll enable the control unit so that you can go and vote. So he'll direct you to the voting compartment that will be within the polling booth.
Right.
Once you are there, you are all alone with your conscience. You by now obviously would have made up your mind on who to vote. So there is this blue button there. You go and press the button against your candidate, decide candidate, and there is this red light that will glow, and that is also accompanied by a long beep sound.
Right.
So by then you will know that your vote has been casted. So you will also see your option being displayed. I mean, whoever candidate you have opted for. So the name and the symbol and the serial number will be displayed inside the VVPAT unit, which you may not be able to touch.
Right.
You can only see through a transparent panel.
Right. And while this is very clear, in case someone who goes to vote has doubts or some clarifications, or feels that the person they cast the vote for has not appeared in the VVPAT verification, then what does one do there?
Yeah, there are quite a few possibilities that might happen inside the polling booth. So for all these options, you cannot call up anyone because your mobile phone is not allowed inside.
Right.
So the only person who can listen your grievance and then address it will be the presiding officer who will be inside the booth. So his decision on any issue will be final.
You mentioned, I think it's a very important tip, you mentioned that mobile phones will not be allowed inside. So is there a facility to, have a safe deposit at the booth itself? Because, people live with their mobile phones today.
Yeah, so we all carry our own details, like say if they ask for a repic number, we will generally have it. So it's ideal to write it down in a small sheet of paper. Your card will also have it, you can keep it in your pocket. Once you enter the booth, obviously you won't be allowed to take the mobile phone inside, so you could deposit.
Right.
There in a counter there is a person who will collect your mobile phone. He'll also give you a token.
Right.
So that your mobile phone is safe. So on your way back, we should all remember to collect it back by producing this token.
Yeah. And don't forget to vote, and don't forget to collect your mobile phone on the way back. Yeah. So there are a number of polling booths. There are high security booths, and depending upon the perceived threat to that area. There is also a sense of, these pink booths that have been happening, of late, that the Election Commission is. What are these pink booths, and when you mean, these are sensitive booths, what does that mean?
Yeah, so we have different categories of booths. You have vulnerable booths, you have sensitive booths, and then you have pink booths. So we don't have to worry about
from a voter point of view.
Yeah, from the voter's point of view, I think it's better to just leave it to the officials to deal with. Pink booths are generally run by all women team. That is the presiding officer, the polling officer 1, 2, and 3. All 4 would be women. But we should not misunderstand that pink booths are only for women voters. So both the gender, even the third, all the gender, they can come and they can vote.
And it's just decked up in pink, right?
Yes, you can see pink all around.
Yeah. And vulnerable booths and sensitive booths, they depend upon the intelligence about the security in the areas.
Yeah, so when we say vulnerable booth means, so there is a possibility that the voters may be influenced or pressurized into voting or not vote. Right. But when it comes to sensitivity, it means that there has been incidents in the past that touches upon law and order incidents. So those are sensitive ones. Right. In Chennai, for example, vulnerable booths, we have about some 830 odd vulnerable booths.
Right. And we also have with us today the District Election Officer for Chennai.
Very warm greetings to everyone. This is Katta Raviteja, Additional District Election Officer, Greater Chennai Corporation. As you all know, the coming 23rd April 2026 is the date of voting for the Tamil Nadu Assembly Elections. As part of these elections, Greater Chennai Corporation has made several measures in order to enhance the experience of the voter at the polling booths. As part of it, we have created the assured minimum facilities in all the polling booths in terms of providing drinking water, toilets, shamianas, benches, as well as voter assistant booths where the voter can check their name in the roll and then can easily go and vote without any confusion. Apart from it, we've also ensured that the differently abled voters are taken care by helping them in home voting. And also, at the polling booth, we have provided wheelchairs along with the volunteers in order to assist them in conveniently voting. And we have also ensured that a lot of awareness campaigns are run across the city. I am sure many of you must have witnessed and been part of these events. Some of the activities that we've done are the flash mobs in the prominent malls in Chennai. Apart from it, every weekend, that is Sunday, we have Kalai Nigarchi in Marina Beach, where at least a crowd of 3,000, 4,000 gather, and we are spreading the message of election through those events. This time, we have also used the IPL platform, wherein in Chepauk Stadium, we have announced multiple times about the elections, as well as we have taken video messages from the CSK players as well. And we have also conducted quiz competitions to the college students. And this time we have launched a vintage bus and also some model booth buses which are placed in the prominent locations across Chennai, which will create an awareness among the voters about the facilities in a polling booth and the trivia about the elections.
Thank you so much for that. We are so happy that you could speak to the Hindu despite your absolutely crazy schedule. So, Dennis, talking about people who need assistance, some persons with visual impairment seem to need a companion to accompany them into the booth. Now, how does that work?
Yeah, so the Election Commission has very clearly mentioned there are two options for them. That is, they can go unassisted there,
Right.
and the EVM units have braille signage on them.
Right.
So without any assistance, they could still go and do it if they opt for it.
Yeah.
And if they want an assistant with them, I mean, the Election Commission uses the word companion for them. So they can go, provided they have to sign a declaration saying that they will keep it as secret, the option whichever the person has opted for. So they will keep it as secret, and they will also take an undertaking that they will be a companion only for this person and not for any other person on that day.
All right, that's very interesting. I think it's a detail that, it might be trivia, but it's good to know.
Yes.
So we have spoken about how there is assistance and, companions, and what can you expect at the booth if you need extra help. But let's look at this category of home votes and separately postal ballot. These are two different things, I know, and we might be too late for the home vote because that's already started in most of the areas. Let's see the difference between these home votes and postal ballots.
So once the election is notified, within 5 days, they could intimate the returning officer about their request, and then they will be given a form 12, which they will fill it up, and then they will have to give an address to which the box will come for home voting. That is one category. 12D is for people who have been deployed on election duty. So maybe a policeman, a teacher, a government employee.
CRPF, any of the
yes, if their vote is in Tamil Nadu on that particular state. So they could fill up for 12D form, and then they will have to send their vote by ballot post.
Right. So, Dennis, we've had an overview of the very simple doubts that a voter might have while approaching the booths or approaching the election officials, and also getting a sense of how to vote, how to actually cast your vote. But there is election doesn't end with election day, voting day. There is a counting day across the nation, and for the 4 states that go into polls, the counting day will be on May 4th.
Yes.
Right? So, what is the process? How is this counting day operated? What goes into this massive exercise? Because, how are the ballots counted? That will be interesting to know as well.
So, once the polling is over on April 23rd in this election, so the EVM units and the VVPAT units, they will be collected and they will be sent to a strong room. They will be kept in the strong room in the presence of your paramilitary personnel, police personnel. And then they'll be opened only on the day of counting, that is May 4th. In the presence of the agents of political parties, they'll be opened, and they'll have multiple rounds depending on the number of electors in that constituency. So I think it will start in the morning, and by afternoon or evening, we should be able to know who will be ruling Tamil Nadu for
next.
next
Yeah,
5 years.
yeah. So that was truly informative, Dennis, and I learned a lot of new things despite having been here forever. There are some new aspects also that will be useful for the voters this time, I think. Now, with only one day left for campaigning, things are heating up, and our Chennai Chinnathambi has been working overtime trying to get us fun information from the field. Take it away, Chinnathambi.
Vanakkam, this is your Chennai Chinnathambi. Now that our hosts have given you the A to Z of the voting process, allow me to give you the A to Z of what's happening in the poll scene in Tamil Nadu. With the campaign clock ticking, our leaders have left no stone unturned in making their presence felt. In Mylapore yesterday, Union Minister Amit Shah turned the streets into a festival of sorts, while Chief Minister M.K. Stalin descended on Hosur and shared the stage with Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge. A missed opportunity with Rahul Gandhi, make up with Mr. Kharge, you think? Meanwhile, TVK Chief Vijay visited Tirchi East, where he's trying his luck, seemingly leaving his fate to the gods. All of them, actually. But here's something dead serious, or rather intimidating, you need to know about your candidates. At least 404 of them have declared that serious criminal cases are pending against them, if you go by the Tamil Nadu Election Watch report of the ADR. To read the full report, well, you know where to go. There's a unique culture in Tamil Nadu election campaigns. The appearance of doppelgangers and lookalike artists. But have you ever wondered how these Stalins, MGRs and EPSs make ends meet when the poll circus leaves town? Go check out the Hindu's deep dive. Now before I sign off, here's a weather update for you. No surprises there, it's going to be hot. See you all tomorrow. One more day of campaigning. Let's go!
Nandri, Chinnathambi. So this guy has been entertaining us for the last 21 days, and he's really fun.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where all he is getting all this information from.
Absolutely. You got a lot of information from us today, not just from Chinnathambi. So go out there and cast your vote. Remember, the day is April 23. Take precautions. It might be really hot. Try and vote in the mornings or after the sun is down, but make sure you cast your vote. On Chennai Poll Canvas, we'll be there on counting day, May 4th. Look out for us.